Hey there, everybody. How are you doing this morning? I am Artie Rose, and I am here with the GLB network, OOTP 26, with another edition of the greatest of all time baseball league. And we are in the playoffs. In this episode, we are beginning round 2 of the playoffs of season 3. We have 8 teams left in the tournament following the season of 100 games. And we're going to go right to the screen here and show you the 8 teams we have in the American Conference, the 1942 Cardinals, and they'll be taking on the Brooklyn Dodgers of 1955. And then we have the 1969 Baltimore Orioles going up against the 1995 Cleveland Indians. In the other conference, the National Conference, we have the 1939 Yankees going against the San Francisco Giants of 1962, and the Chicago Cubs of 2016 going against the Toronto Blue Jays of 1993. Blue Jays of 1993 were the number 7 seed, so they are the Cinderella team, so to speak, in the playoffs. All the other teams, the Cleveland Indians, I think were. Let's take a look where they were. Cleveland Indians also were the number 7 seed, so they survived the first round of the playoffs. So today's games, we start with the National Conference, the Cubs and the Blue Jays, and then the other game is the 39 Yankees and the 1962 Giants. So as we usually do, to speed things up a little bit, we quick play these games until we get to a game that is very crucial and would be interesting to actually watch, and we watch the game in progress. Although the last couple of recordings, I've been just highlighting the games. If there was a walk-off win, I would just do the highlights. But I think it's interesting just to see how it unfolds as it's happening. So we'll do that this time around. Anyway, so with this first game, we have Jack Morris, who for the Toronto Blue Jays, who in the playoffs has an 0-2 record with an 11.05 ERA, going up against Jake Arrieta, who's won one ball game and has a 2.38 ERA. Blue Jays are 4-3 in the playoffs, and the Cubs won their series 4-2. Let's go quick play it. Actually, you know what? Let's look at the lineups. How do these teams shape up? Cubs look like they're dominating if you compare them lineup slot to lineup slot. Position wise, it's a little more even. Position wise, the Blue Jays have an advantage at catcher, first base, and second base. Cubs have an advantage at third base, shortstop, left field, and center field. There's a tie between the center fielders, and the DH goes to the Blue Jays, and today's pitching matchup favors the Cubs. Let's see what the lineups are. Roberto Alomar leading off for the Blue Jays. They're the visiting team. Devon White in center field, bats second. John Olerud. These are the season I don't know if these are the seasons or just it might be. Yeah. Anyway, so John Olerud bats third, plays first. Paul Molitor bats fourth. The DH, Joe Carter, the right fielder, bats fifth. Randy Moore, who's having a good postseason, bats sixth. He's the catcher. Turner Ward in left field, batting seventh. Darnell Coles batting eighth at third base, and Dick Schofield, the shortstop, batting ninth. For the Cubs, you have Dexter Fowler. The DH leading off, you have Javi Baez, the second baseman, batting second. Chris Bryant, who's on a tear, batting third at third base. Anthony Rizzo, the first baseman, batting fourth. Albert Almora Jr., the center fielder, batting fifth. Ben Zobrist, the left fielder, batting sixth. Addison Russell, the shortstop, batting seventh. Jason Hayward, right fielder, batting eighth. And David Ross, the catcher, batting ninth. So let's go back to the quick play screen. And this game, 13-inning walk-off win for the Chicago Cubs, 5-4. Home runs, Toronto, Devon White, and John Olerud. And the Cubs, Jason Hayward and Addison Russell, homer. Going to the box score, you have Jack Morris, only went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 3 runs, struck out 7. Winning pitcher was Carl Edwards Jr. in relief. He came on, I guess, in the to pitch the last inning and won the game because it was a walk-off in the bottom of the 13th. So that, very interesting. So that's that game. Let's go to the Giants of 1962 and the Yankees of 1939. Let's take a look at the lineups here. If we go by position, Yankees seem to dominate. They have an advantage at catcher. And then the Giants have the advantage at first base. Lou Gehrig. Interesting, Lou Gehrig here. He's 36 years old. This was his last year before he got sick. He actually got sick and had to retire in, I think, June of this year. But in this scenario, if he had not gotten sick and didn't have to retire, this would have been what he would have done. He would have batted .253 with 20 home runs, 54 RBIs, and the Iron Horse would have kept going. Anyway, so Yankees have the advantage at second base, third base, shortstop, and left field. Then there's a tie between Willie Mays and Joe DiMaggio in center field. That makes sense. Yankees advantage in right field and DH. There's a tie between the two pitchers that are starting. Billy O'Dell, left-hander. 2 lefties going against each other here in this game. Billy O'Dell had a 10-7 record in the regular season, and Lefty Gomez had an 11-2 record. ERA 2.63. ERA for Billy O'Dell 4.07. Let's take a look at the lineups. For the visiting Giants, Felipe Alou leads off in left field. Willie Mays bats second. In center field, Willie McCovey, the DH, bats third. Orlando Cepeda, the first baseman, bats fourth. Tom Haller, the catcher, bats fifth. Jim Davenport at third base, bats sixth. Harvey Kuhn, I don't know how it's pronounced, bats seventh in right field. Chuck Hiller, second baseman, bats eighth. And Jose Pagan, the shortstop, bats ninth. For the Yankees, it'll be George Selkirk, the designated hitter batting first, Charlie Keller in left field batting second, the great Joe DiMaggio in center field batting third, Joe Gordon, the second baseman, batting fourth, Bill Dickey, the catcher, bats fifth, Tommy Heinrich in right field batting sixth, Lou Gehrig, the first baseman, batting seventh, Red Rolfe, the third baseman, batting eighth, and Frankie Crosetti at shortstop batting ninth. So that's the lineups. Let's quick play the game. And wow, the Giants score 5 runs in the ninth inning to win the ball game 7-3 at Yankee Stadium. Willie Mays homers. Winning pitcher is in relief Gaylord Perry, a 23-year-old Gaylord Perry. And losing pitcher Johnny Murphy in relief, lost it. So that is today's games. I'm going to finish today, and this is Game 1 in the American Conference now, and we'll see Games 2 in the National Conference. Going to the first game, which is the 1995 Indians against the Baltimore Orioles of 1969. Let's take a look at the comparisons. This is pretty even. You got Cleveland with 4 positions advantage, and the Orioles have advantage in 5 positions and a tie at catcher. Dennis Mart. Oh, this is by lineup. I want to go by position. I'm sorry. There you go. It's a little different by position. Still a tie at catcher. First base goes to the Orioles, Frank Robinson. Don Buford at second base gets the advantage. Jim Thome at third base has the advantage over Brooks Robinson. Orioles have the advantage at shortstop. Indians have the advantage in left. Orioles have the advantage in center. And in right, the Indians have the advantage. DH goes to the Orioles. And pitching-wise, Mike Cuellar, lefty, against Dennis Martinez. Looks pretty even, but they give the advantage to Mike Cuellar. Martinez won 11 games, lost 6, and had a 2.56 ERA. Cuellar won 7 games, lost 4, and had a 2.72 ERA. So, in my opinion, I would say Dennis Martinez has the advantage, but the AI says no. Anyway, so let's go back to the game. And quick play, game 1 here. And the Indians win in Baltimore 6-4 to take game 1. Home runs, Cleveland, Brian Giles and Omar Vizquel, and Baltimore's Paul Blair homered. Dennis Martinez wins the game, and Mike Cuellar is the loser. Jose Mesa gets the save. Player of the game was Dennis Martinez. Martinez went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 earned runs, walked 1, struck out 3. Okay, we're going to move along here to the Brooklyn Dodgers and the St. Louis Cardinals of 1942. Okay, advantage, I think, looks like the Dodgers by position. St. Louis Cardinals have advantage at catcher, and then the Dodgers have an advantage at first, second, and third. There's a tie between the shortstops, Pee Wee Reese and Marty Marion. And St. Louis, Stan Musial has the advantage in left field. Brooklyn Dodgers have an advantage in center and right. The Cardinals have the advantage at DH. And they say today the Dodgers have the advantage with pitching, with the left-hander Carl Spooner going against Lon Warneke. Both pitchers in the regular season had losing records, and their ERAs were fairly good. Spooner had a 3.93, and Warneke had a 3.43. Spooner has a higher strikeout percentage per 9 innings at 13.5, where Warneke's only at 8. So we're going to go back. Let's check the lineups. Brooklyn Dodgers have Jackie Robinson leading off, Carl Furillo in right field at bat second, Don Newcomb, who is a two-way player. He's a pitcher and a great hitter, so he's in there at DH. So he's sort of like a Shohei Ohtani type player. Had 18 home runs, batted .298. He's batting third. Duke Snider, the center fielder, batting cleanup. Gil Hodges, the first baseman, batting fifth. Walt Morwin, the left fielder, batting sixth. Roy Campanella, the catcher, batting seventh. John Gilliam, the second baseman, batting eighth. And Pee Wee Reese, the shortstop, batting ninth. For the Cardinals, it'll be Terry Moore in center field, batting first. Stan Musial, batting second. In left field, Walker Cooper, batting third, the catcher. Enos Slaughter, the DH, batting fourth. Estelle Crabtree in right field, batting fifth. Whitey Kurowski, the third baseman, batting sixth. Ray Sanders at first base, batting seventh. Marty Marion, not Matty Marion. Batting eighth at shortstop. Jimmy Brown, the second baseman, batting ninth. So let's go back to the quick play screen and quick play the game. And the Dodgers take game one. The Cardinals scored 3 runs and all in the ninth inning. They lose it 7-3. Home runs by Pee Wee Reese, Don Newcomb, Walt Morwin, and Jackie Robinson for the Brooklyn Dodgers, and Walter Kurowski had a home run in the bottom of the ninth, obviously. Probably a 3-run shot for their I'm just curious. Kurowski. No, it was a 2-run home run. So winning pitcher, Carl Erskine. Losing pitcher was Bill Lohrman. Don Bissett had the save, and the player of the game was Pee Wee Reese. Pee Wee Reese went 2 for 4, scored 2 runs, knocked in 1 run. So he was the player of the game. So that's that game. Let's go back to scores. Then we have, excuse me, coming back to game 2 in the National Conference. You have Toronto Blue Jays against the Cubs. The Cubs lead at 1-0. Todd Stottlemyre here going against John Lester. And let's see, this game goes to the Cubs 7-5. So they take a 2-0 lead. Home runs by Darnell Coles and Paul Molitor for the Blue Jays in the losing cause. Winning pitcher John Lester. Losing pitcher Todd Stottlemyre. Moving on to the game 2. The Yankees and the Giants. San Francisco won game 1. And this game, San Francisco decisively wins 9-1. So San Francisco Giants take a 2-0 lead in this series. And this, again, is been the way it's gone for the 1939 Yankees. In every season, the first 3 seasons, they were the number 1 seed going into the playoffs. And either in round 1 or in round 2, they lose. I don't know what it is, but this is what happens to these 1939 Yankees. Anyway, so that is this day. Let's finish this day. And we're going to go to game 2 in the American Conference. But first, I'm going to take a quick break, and we will come back with this round of games. Be right back. Okay, we're back for game 2 here in the American Conference. Indians and Orioles. For the Cleveland Indians, Mark Clark, who in the regular season was 8-4 with a 4.72 ERA, going against Jim Harden, who was 4-8. So Cleveland won game 1. And I would say the pitching matchup probably goes to the Indians. Let's look. It's actually a tie. Look at that. Okay, so let's quick play this game. And it goes to the Orioles, 10-9. Tight ball game. Orioles actually scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th to go ahead and then held them in the 9th. So it went down to the 9th inning. Cleveland home runs, Jim Thome, Eddie Murray, Albert Bell. Baltimore Orioles home runs by Merv Rettenmund. Don Buford had 2 home runs. The series is now tied at 1. Winning pitcher was Dick Hall for the Orioles, and losing pitcher was Eric Plunk. Merv Rettenmund was player of the game. Went 3 for 4 with a home run, 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored. That's quite a day. Don Buford, I would say, was a close second. He was 2 for 5 with 2 home runs, 2 RBIs, so 2 solo home runs. Moving along here to game 2 of the Brooklyn Dodgers of 1955 and the Cardinals of 1942. Brooklyn won game 1. Johnny Padres is going. Padres in the regular season had a 4-2 record with a 3.56 ERA. Max Lanier, his opponent, won 10 games and lost 4 with a 2.21 ERA. I would say the advantage goes to the. Actually, they're saying the Dodgers. That's not the same pitcher. Oh my goodness, what happened there? I don't know. Anyway, game 2. Goes to, in 10, to the Dodgers. They scored 2 runs in the top of the 10th and hold on as the Cardinals scored 1 run, and the game goes to the Dodgers and now take a 2-0 lead over the defending champion 1942 Cardinals. Home runs by Pee Wee Reese, Gil Hodges, and Walt Morwin for the Dodgers. St. Louis homers Ray Sanders and Walker Cooper. I want to see, this was interesting. Yeah, Johnny Padres did start the game. So I don't know why that showed that differently on the manage the game screen. That was a little strange. Anyway, Don Bissett wins the game in relief, and Ernie White loses the game. Russ Meyer saved the game. I guess came on to pitch the bottom of the 10th. Player of the game was Walt Morwin. Morwin was 2 for 4 with a run scored and 3 RBIs. And he hit a home run. So he deserved player of the game for sure. So that's game 2 in the American Conference. That's finished today. And then we got game 3. The teams have switched. Chicago now visiting Toronto. And the 1939 Yankees are in Candlestick Park, San Francisco for their game 3. For the Cubs, it's going to be Kyle Hendricks, who in the playoffs is 2-0 with has got no runs given up. Regular season, he was 7-5 with a 3.21 ERA, going against Juan Guzman. Guzman was 10-4 on the year and had a 3.27 ERA. That's a pretty even matchup. So quick play this game, and Toronto pulls out a win, 3-1. So they make the series now 2-1. Juan Guzman won the game, and he was the player of the game. Juan Guzman went 6 innings, only gave up 3 hits, struck out 9 to win the game. No home runs in the game. Okay, moving on to the 39 Yankees and the 62 Giants. Marius Russo is pitching for the Yankees. Left-hander. Was 6-8 on the regular season with a 4.80 ERA. Juan Marichal goes for the Giants. He was 7-3 with a 2.65 ERA. San Francisco leads this one 2-0. Let's see if the Yankees can come back here. And they do. They pull out a win. In game 3, they win 3-1. Lou Gehrig hits a home run, and George Selkirk for the Yankees. Marius Russo wins the game. He also was the player of the game, went 6 2/3 innings, only gave up 2 hits and 1 run, struck out 7. So that is Game 3 in the American Conference. Both series now with a 2-1 going to go to Game 4. So here we go. We got Game 4 in the American National Conference and Game 3 in the American Conference. Game 3, Baltimore now in Cleveland. Series is tied at 1. Jim Palmer on the mound for the Orioles. Palmer in the regular season was 8.5 with a 3.58 ERA. He goes against Chad Ogia. He was 5-8 on a regular season with a 5.02 ERA. So let's see. This game goes to the Orioles pull it out 12-10, scoring 6 runs in the top of the 9th. So Baltimore pulls out to a 2-1 lead. Home runs by Merv Rettenman, Boo Powell for the Orioles, and the Indians had Albert Bell hit his 6th home run in the playoffs. Bell was the player of the game, went 3 for 5 with a double, a home run, and 5 RBIs, even though they lost. Fred Bean won the game in relief. Eric Plunk lost it. And a save by Dick Hall. So let's move along here to the Dodgers and the Cardinals. They're in Brooklyn, Ebbets Field, for Game 3. Brooklyn has a 2-0 lead. Mort Cooper going for the Cardinals. Cooper, 12-1 on the season. He was their ace with a 3.31 ERA. And Don Newcomb, the two-way player. I gotta look and see what his pitching stats were if I want. We're not gonna do that right now. Anyway, in the playoffs, he's 0 for 1 with a 16.88 ERA. He's a left-hander. So this game goes to the Cardinals. Pull it out. 6-3. Home runs in the losing cause for the Dodgers, Pee Wee Reese and Walt Morrowind. Cooper won the game and was the player of the game. Let's see what Cooper's pitching line was. He went 5 1/3 innings, gave up 6 hits, only one earned run, and struck out 6. So that makes the series 2-1 in favor of the Dodgers of Brooklyn. Going to Game 4, Chicago and Toronto. Toronto won Game 3, so they're going to make it a little interesting here. Jason Hamill, who's 7-6 on the year, is going for Chicago, and Al Leiter, who was 6-5, going for the Blue Jays. This game, Cubs take it 5-3 and pull out to a 3-1 lead over the Blue Jays. Wilson Contreras hit his 2nd home run in the postseason for the Cubs, and Toronto had John Olerud home run. Going to the 1939 Yankees and 62 Giants in San Francisco, Game 4, Red Ruffing for the Yankees and Jack Sanford for the Giants. Ruffing, 10-5 on the year, Sanford 5-8 on the year. So, question is, can the Yankees tie this series up? And the answer is they cannot. And they fall behind 3-1. They lose 6-2. They only got 2 hits. George Selkirk hit a home run for one of those runs. Orlando Cepeda had a home run, and so did Willie McCovey. Bobby Bolin won the game in relief. Red Ruffing took the loss. Jack Sanford was the player of the game. He went 5 1/3 innings, gave up only 1 hit, struck out 9, and walked 1. So this is game 4. So it looks like heavily favored. Looks like the Cubs and the Giants might be headed towards round 3. We're going to finish today. And then we got games 3, and we got game 4 in the American Conference, and games 5 in the National Conference. I'm going to take a quick break and see what's going to happen here next. Be right back. Okay, we are back, and we are going to continue along here with the American Conference games. Game 4. Orioles are leading this series 2-1 over the Indians of 1995. And this game goes to the Indians, and now it's tied 2-2. Indians win 5-1. Jim Thome hits a home run. Manny Ramirez and Carlos Baerga all homer for the Indians. Winning pitcher was Dennis Cook. Losing pitcher, Mike Adamson. So that's it for that game. Moving to the next game, the Brooklyn Dodgers are leading the series 2-1 over the 1942 Cardinals. And this game goes to the Dodgers. And now the Dodgers take a 3-1 lead. They win 5-2. No home runs. Winning pitcher, Billy Lowe's for the Dodgers. Losing pitcher, Max Lanier. So the Dodgers are on the verge of upsetting the defending champions. To the National Conference we go here. Chicago Cubs of 2016 leading the Toronto Blue Jays 3-1. And this game goes to the Cubs, and the Cubs advance to the National Conference Championship, winning 4-3. Anthony Rizzo hits a home run in the game. Winning pitcher, Jake Arrieta. Jack Morris loses his third game in the playoffs. So, congratulations to the Chicago Cubs. Yankees of 1939 against the Giants of 1962. And the Giants are leading 3-1. So New York Yankees with their back against the wall. And they win and force a game 6. They win 4-3, scoring 2 runs in the top of the ninth. Home runs by Joe Gordon, Tommy Heinrich. I just want to go to the game log and see how they won this game. Top of the ninth, Bill Dickey led off with Tommy Heinrich. Bill Dickey led off with a single, and Tommy Heinrich hit a 2-run home run to put the Yankees ahead in the ball game. That's interesting. So they go ahead in the top of the ninth and beat them to beat the Giants and force a game 6. So that is it for today's games. Let's finish today's games. And now we have Game 5 of the American Conference. American Conference, we're going to go to the Orioles of 69 and the 1995 Indians. They're tied at 2. This game goes to the Orioles. No, I'm sorry. The Indians win 5-3. I'm a little bleary-eyed right now. So, the Indians take a 3-2 series lead over the Orioles. So, there's an upset in the making here because the Indians are the number 7 seed in the playoffs. Let's go here to the St. Louis Cardinals and the Brooklyn Dodgers. Dodgers lead 3-1. And that's it. The Brooklyn Dodgers go to the American Conference Championship, winning the game 7-1. And eliminating the defending champion 1942 Cardinals. Wow. So you have home runs by Ray Sanders for the Cardinals. That was the only run. Duke Snider hit his 6th home run. He had a home run by Roy Campanella, one by Don Newcomb, 2 by Gil Hodges. Winning pitcher, Carl Spooner. Spooner only gave up. He went 6 2/3 innings. He gave up 2 hits, struck out 7, and walked 1. No, walked 2. That's it for today. Lone game. Giants are back at Yankee Stadium for Game 6. So let's see what happens here. Either the Giants are going to defeat them or the Yankees are going to force Game 7. And that's it. The Giants win, scoring 5 runs in the top of the ninth. And the Yankees, trying to mount a comeback in the bottom of the ninth, came up short, and they lose the game 8-7. So the Yankees of 1939, again, frustrated after being the number one seed in the conference for the third season in a row. Willie Mays hit a home run for the for the Giants, and Red Rolfe hit a home run for the Yankees. Winning pitcher was Dick LeMay. We go now. The following day, the last remaining two teams to decide who's going to the conference championship. The Indians have a 3-2 lead, and they're in Baltimore for Game 6. I wonder if we should watch this game. Let's take a break, and maybe we'll come back, and we'll see what happens with that game. Okay, we're back. So we're going to bring you the final game, not the final game, Game 6 of the American Conference semifinal series game between the Indians of 1995 and the Orioles of 1969. So we're going to go here. These are the lineups. For the Indians, Kenny Lofton leads it off in center field, followed by Brian Giles, the DH, batting second. Albert Bell, left fielder, batting third. Jim Thome, third baseman, batting fourth. Manny Ramirez, the right fielder, batting fifth. Eddie Murray, 39-year-old Eddie Murray at first base, batting sixth. Sandy Alomar Jr., the catcher, batting second. Carlos Baerga, the second baseman, bats eighth, and Omar Vizquel, shortstop, bats ninth. On the mound, Mark Clark made 20 appearances, won 8 games, lost 4. ERA of 4.72. He's going up against Jim Harden for the Orioles. Harden also, in 20 games, he only won 4 and lost 8 and had a 4.18 ERA. Batting order for the Orioles. Don Buford leads it off at second base. Paul Blair, the center fielder, bats second. Frank Robinson, the first baseman, bats third. Boog Powell is the DH. He bats fourth. Merv Rettenmund, right fielder, bats fifth. Carl Motton, the left fielder, bats sixth. Brooks Robinson, the third baseman, bats seventh. Andy Etchebarren, the catcher, bats eighth. And Mark Belanger, the shortstop, bats ninth. Let's start this ball game. We're in Memorial Stadium. Let's change this view. I think we gotta change the view. Let's see. Initial camera is wide. Let's try the default camera. That's not working. Construction kit camera? No, we don't want that. Wide camera. There we go. That's the view I want. So we have Kenny Lofton in there to lead off the game against Jim Hart. Here's a panoramic view of the stadium. And here is the first pitch. And it's a ground ball to third base. Over to first. 1 out. Brian Giles in the playoffs is batting .348 with 2 home runs in there against Hart. Pitch. Ground ball first base. Frank Robinson takes it himself. Second out. Albert Bell. Albert Bell in the playoffs is batting .388 with 6 home runs. The pitch. And he walks him. So 2-out walk. Albert Bell's on first with 2 outs. Jim Thome. Jim Thome is batting .263 with 3 home runs and 11 RBIs in the playoffs. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's it. So, the Indians don't score, leave a man on. And Baltimore's coming up. Don Buford leads it off. Buford, on the season, he batted .296 with 13 home runs. In the playoffs, he's batting .269 with 3 home runs. Pitch. And it's a walk to lead it off. Excuse me. That'll bring up Paul Blair, the center fielder. He's batting .286. Pitch. Fly ball. Right fielder catches it. And that's the first out. Manny Ramirez, right field. That'll bring up Frank Robinson. Bat .353 in the playoffs. In the regular season, he batted .291 at 20 home runs. Pitch. Popped up. Base hit. Like a pop-up. And Buford tries for third and makes it. So, first and third. 1 out for Boog Powell. Boog Powell bat .292, 2 home runs in the playoffs. Regular season, he had 24 home runs. Here's the pitch from Clark. Long fly ball, way back, and it is gone. Boog Powell with a 3-run home run here in the bottom of the first puts the Baltimore Orioles on the board against the 1995 Indians. Okay, Merv Rettenman with 1 out. Nobody on. Pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That's the second out. Carl Motton. Motton's batting .333 with 3 home runs in the playoffs. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that's it. But the Orioles jump out in front 3-0 on the home run by Boog Powell. Go to the top of the second. Manny Ramirez leads it off. Ramirez batting .244 in the playoffs with 4 home runs. Pitch. And that's going to be a base hit into left field. So Ramirez is on first. Ramirez. No stolen bases in the playoffs. Eddie Murray steps in. Batting .255. In the regular season, he batted .252. Pitch. Ground ball, second base. Could be two. Nope, they only get the force out. So that's the first out. Sandy Alomar Jr., the catcher, bat .267 with 3 home runs, steps in. Pitch. Up the middle, base hit. Runners trying for third. Here's the throw. He's in there. Eddie Murray. 39-year-old Eddie Murray. They still run a little bit. Okay, Carlos Baerga, the second baseman, steps in. He's batting .306 in the playoffs. With 2 men on and 1 man out. Pitch. There's another base hit to left field. 1 run will score. So the Indians are on the board, and it's 3-1. One out, 2 runners on for Omar Vizquel. Vizquel's batted .250 in the playoffs. Regular season, he batted .271. Here's the pitch. He squares the bunt and misses it. Here's the pitch again. And that's a base hit into right field. 1 run will score. Here comes the throw. No, there was no run. So everybody held. Only went ahead 1 base. Kenny Lofton now. 1 out and bases loaded. Lofton, top of the lineup, has no home runs. In the regular season, he had only 1. Pitch. Ground ball, second base. Over the first, the second. So a run scores. That was a slow roller, so they only had 1 play. Then I'll bring up Brian Garnes with 2 outs and 2 men on. Here's the pitch. That is a fly ball to left field, and it's caught, and that is the inning. So, the Indians score 2 runs, and now the score going to the bottom of the second is 3-2 Baltimore. Brooks Robinson will lead it off. Brooks Robinson's having a great postseason. He's back .409. Here is the pitch. That's popped up. Second baseman, I think that's Baerga, takes it for the first out. Andy Etchebarren steps in. He's batting only .209 in the playoffs. In the regular season, he batted .220. Pitch. A little nubber to the first baseman. Eddie Murray takes it, and that is the first out. Mark Belanger, shortstop, steps in. Pitch. There's a line drive to left field. Caught for the third out, and that's it. So at the end of 2 innings, the score is the Orioles of 69-3 and Indians 2. Albert Bell steps in to lead off the 3rd inning for the Indians. Here's the pitch from Harden. There's a long drive way back, and they're just going to watch it go. Albert Bell. homers to tie the game at 3. That's Bell's 7th home run of the playoffs. 412 feet, no doubt about it. That'll bring up Jim Tomei. Score's tied now. Nobody out here in the top of the 3rd. Fly ball center field. Paul Blair is there, puts it away. 1 out. Manny Ramirez steps in. Ramirez. Fly ball center field. Paul Blair is there, puts it away for the 2nd out. Now bring up Eddie Murray. Pitch to Murray. Little roller to the pitcher. Takes it over to first, and that is the inning. So, the Indians tie the score on the Albert Bell home run. So the score is 3-3 going to the bottom of the 3rd. Don Buford leads it off. Pitch. That is a fly ball to right field and caught by Manny Ramirez in right for the 1st down. Paul Blair, the center fielder, steps in. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 for the 2nd out. Frank Robinson, power hitting first baseman, is up. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that is it for the Orioles. So at the end of 3 innings, the score remains tied 3-3. Take a short break. We'll be right back after this. Okay, we're back to start the 4th inning here. Sandy Alomar Jr. steps in to lead it off for the Cleveland Indians. Yes, and here is the pitch. And there is a line drive caught by Mark Belanger for the 1st out. That'll bring up Carlos Baerga, 2nd baseman. He's 1 for 1. Pitch. Ground ball, first base. Taken by Frank Robinson. 2 outs. Omar Vizquel, shortstop. He's 1 for 1. Pitch. And it's a walk. That's going to be it for Harden. I want to see what happened here. Harden went 3 2/3 innings, pitched at 79 pitches. He gave up 3 runs on 5 hits, struck out 1 and walked 2. Pete Rickert, in the regular season, made 35 appearances. He won 4 games, lost 2, and saved 2 games. Had 101 strikeouts in 64 innings and a 2.16 ERA. So he'll probably go a few innings here. He's going to face Kenny Lofton. Lofton is 0 for 2 with a man on first. Vizquel. What kind of speed does he have, Vizquel? Got some decent speed. Anyway, here it is. Here's the play. Oh, and they try to pick him off at first. Quick throw, but he gets back. Pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And that ends the inning. So the score remains 3-3. Going to the bottom of the 4th. Boog Powell is going to step in against Mark Clark. Mark Clark's got 48 pitches logged in 3 innings of work. Pitch to Powell. And it's a base hit to center field for Boog Powell. So, Powell's on first. That brings up Merv Retman, the right fielder. Popped up. Second baseman Baerga takes it. 1 out. Carl Martin steps in. Martin on the regular season had 15 home runs. The pitch. And it's a pass ball, but runner doesn't advance. Again. Try this again. And it's a walk. 1 out. Men on first and second for Brooks Robinson, the red-hot hitting third baseman. And it's a ground ball over to second for 1, and it's a 3-6-3 double play to end the inning. So the Orioles do not score, and the score remains 3-3. Go to the top of the 5th. Pete Rickard in there against Brian Giles. Giles 0 for 2. Pitch. Line shot. Caught in right field by Merv Retman for the first out. That'll bring up Albert Bell. Albert Bell homered his last time up. A long home run. Pitch. Oh, there's another long drive way back, and it is out of here. Second home run of the game for Albert Bell to put the 1995 Indians up 4-3 here in the top of the 5th. Another monster shot, 417 feet. Here's Jim Thome. And it's a walk. Manny Ramirez steps in. 1 out, man on first. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's 2 outs. Eddie Murray steps in. 2 outs, man on first. Little nubber to the pitcher. Takes it over to first. And that is the inning. But the Indians take the lead 4-3. Okay, we go to the bottom of the 5th. Andy Etchebarren steps in against Mark Clark. And it's a base hit to right field for Etchebarren. Mark Belanger steps in. Clark's sitting at 70 pitches. The pitch. And there's a fly ball right field taken for the first out by Manny Ramirez. They'll bring up Don Buford. 1 out, man on first. Pitch. Long fly ball, way back. And it's off the wall. Digging for third. A triple. Don Buford. And the score is tied again at 4 now. So 1 man out. Man at third, and Paul Blair, the center fielder, is up. The pitch. There is another one in the gap. That'll put the Orioles ahead. A double for Paul Blair. And the Orioles go ahead 5-4 now. That'll be it for Mark Clark. Clark wound up going 4 1/3 innings, gave up 5 runs on 6 hits, struck out 4, walked 2. He's going to give way to Julian Tavarez. Tavarez, on the regular season, played in 6 games. He lost 1 of them. Only put in 9 innings worth of work and struck out 8. Had a 5.59 ERA. Going to face Frank Robinson with a man on second and 1 out. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3 for the second out. Boog Powell. Powell has a home run, had a 3-run home run in the first inning, steps in. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. And it's a called strike 3 to end the inning. But the Orioles of 1969 take the lead 5-4 here after 5 innings. Go to the top of the 6th. Rickard is still in there. Sandy Alomar Jr. is going to lead it off for the Indians. Pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball caught by Merv Retman for the first out. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Carlos Baerga goes down on strikes for the second out. Omar Vizquel steps in. He's 1 for 1. The pitch. Ground ball, shortstop. Belanger up with it. Throws over to first, and that's it. Nothing across for Cleveland. Score remains 5-4, Baltimore. Merv Retman's going to step in against Julian Tavarez now, at the bottom of the 6th. Pitch. Long fly ball. That's going to be off the wall. Retman trying for third. Here's the throw. Triple for Merv Retman. So a leadoff triple brings up Carl Mott, the left fielder. Here's the pitch from Tavarez. And that's going to be a fly ball. Is it deep enough? Run is tagging. Doesn't go. So, 1 out. Brooks Robinson steps in. Robinson's 0 for 2 in this game. Pitch. And it's a walk. So now, runners at the corners with 1 out for Andy Etchebarren. Pitch. Line drive. Caught by the shortstop, Vizquel, and that's 2 outs. So Mark Belanger steps in. 2 outs, 2 men on. Bottom of the 6th. Ground ball. Vizquel takes, throws over to second base, get the 4th out, and that's the inning. The score remains 5-4 here after 6 innings. Kenny Lofton's going to lead off the 7th against Pete Rickard. Rickard's in there for his 3rd inning. He's got 28 pitches. Here we go. Ground popped up. 3rd baseman takes it. 1 out. Brooks Robinson. Pitch to the next batter. Called strike 3. Brian Giles strikes out. Albert Bell got 2 home runs in this game. 2 solo shots against Pete Rickard. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that's the inning. So nothing across for the Indians. And the score is still 5-4 Orioles. Going to the bottom of the 7th. New pitcher for the Indians, Dennis Cook. Cook, in the regular season, made 39 appearances. He won 4 games and lost 3. ERA of 4.76. In the playoffs, he's got an ERA of 1.50 in 6 innings of work. He's given up 7 hits. Here he is against Don Buford, top of the lineup for the Orioles. Pitch. And that's going to be a base hit to left field. So Buford is on. Paul Blair steps in. Nobody out. Pitch from Cook. Ground ball. This could be 2. Over the second for 1, and that's all they get. So 1 out. Frank Robinson steps in. Man on first, 1 out. And there's a base hit up the middle for Robinson. Runner thinks about 3rd, but doesn't go. So now 1st and 2nd for Boog Powell. Powell had a big 3-run home run in the 1st inning. 1 out here. Dennis Cook looks in, and the pitch. Fly ball, center field. Lofton is there for the 2nd out. Merv Rettenman tripled his last time up. Steps in with 2 outs and 2 men on. The bottom of the 7th here. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that will do it for the Orioles. Score is still, after 7 innings, Baltimore 5, Cleveland 4. Okay, pitching change for the Orioles. Dick Hall's going to take over here in the top of the 8th. Trying to hold the Indians to force a Game 7. Dick Hall, in the regular season, was their closer with 45 appearances, won 5 games, lost 4, saved 17 games, and had an ERA of 1.55. But in the playoffs, his ERA is 7.11. Here's Jim Thome. Thome, 0 for 2. Pitch. And it's a walk. A leadoff walk for Jim Thome. Bring up Manny Ramirez. Ramirez, 1 for 3 in the ball game. Pitch. Fly ball going back to the center fielder. It is over his head. Tying run score. Oh no, he did not. It looked like he was going to go, but he did not go. So it's a double for Manny Ramirez. So now Eddie Murray steps in with runners at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out. Tying run is at 3rd, and the go-ahead run for the Indians is at 2nd with Eddie Murray up against Dick Hall here. The pitch. And that's going to be a pop up, and the third baseman, Brooks Robinson, takes it for the first out. Then I'll bring up Sandy Alomar Jr., the catcher. Here's the pitch from Hall. Ground ball. Second baseman takes it, throws out the runner at first, and that's 2 outs. So 2 outs. Carlos Baerga steps in. Baerga is batting .308. Regular season, he batted .270. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball caught on the line drive by Merv Rettenmund to end the inning. So the threat by the Indians goes by the boards. And the score is still 5-4 Baltimore. Carl Martin, left fielder, steps in for Baltimore against Dennis Cook in there for his second inning of work. Pitch. Ground ball, second base. Baerga over to first. 1 out. Brooks Robinson, 0 for 2 in the ballgame, steps in against Cook. Swing and a miss, strike 3 for the second out. Andy Etchebarren. Pitch. Ground ball, up the middle, base hit for Andy Etchebarren. Having a good game, 2 hits. That'll be it for Cook. And they're going to bring in Eric Plunk. Plunk 40 appearances in the regular season, won 6 games, lost 2, 2.39 ERA. In the playoffs, though, a 5.68 ERA. Mark Belanger steps in, 2 outs, man on first, bottom of the 8th inning. Whoop! And they pick him off at first base, and that ends the inning. So, at the end of 8, we go to the top of the 9th, and the Orioles are leading 5-4. Can they hold them for the victory? Dick Hall, still on the mound, got 24 pitches, going to face Omar Vizquel, the shortstop, who's 1 for 2. The pitch. Ground ball, first base. Frank Robinson's there and takes it for the first out. Kenny Lofton, 0 for 4 in the ball game, steps in. Here's the pitch from Hall. Fly ball off the center field wall. And Lofton is in there with a double. On a tying run for the Indians is at second base, and the designated hitter, Brian Giles, steps in. Giles bat .320, but he's 0 for 4 today. Here is the pitch. Fly ball, center field. That's the second out. So, Albert Bell steps in. Last chance here for the Indians. Bell's 2 for 3, but those 2 hits with 2 solo home runs. Got a man on second, a base hit will tie the game. Dick Hall looks in, and here is the pitch. And it's a fly ball, and it's over the head of Buford. And that's a double for Albert Bell, and the Indians tie the game 5-5. Okay. So now the go-ahead run for the Indians is on second base, and Jim Thome is up. Thome in the regular season had 16 home runs. Here's the pitch from Hall. They walk him. Intentional walk. They don't want to face him. They'd rather face Manny Ramirez. Ramirez had 13 home runs. On a base hit, should bring Bill home. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, center field. Buford's there, and that is it. But the Indians tie the score here in the top of the ninth, and now we go to the bottom of the ninth. The score 5-5. Mark Belanger steps in against Eric Plunk. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 out. That's it for Plunk. And now the Indians bring in Jose Mesa. Mesa, in the regular season, saved 28 games in 43 appearances and had a 2.80 ERA. In the playoffs, though, his ERA is 6.23. Don Buford is up. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, second base. Bayaga over the first, and that is the second out. Paul Blair steps in against Jose Mesa. The pitch. And that's a fly ball to right field, and that ends the inning. So we go to extra innings here in Baltimore with a tie score 5-5. Eddie Murray's going to lead off against Eddie Watt. Eddie Watt, in the regular season, 38 appearances, won 2 games, lost 4, saved 4. In the playoffs, 5 innings pitched, struck out 7, gave up 9 hits and 4 runs, ERA of 6.35. Eddie Murray, 0 for 4. Leads off. The pitch. And that's going to be a base hit for Eddie Murray. To right field. The Indians are going to send up a pinch hitter now. Jeremy Burnitz. He only has 1 at bat in the playoffs. He batted .309 in the regular season with 2 home runs. Here he is against Watt. Pitch. Called strike 3. 1 out. Carlos Bayaga, second baseman, steps in. Man on first. 1 out. Pitch. Ground ball, second base. Over to first. 2 outs. And Eddie Murray is on second now. So the go-ahead run is at second base. Omar Vizquel, the shortstop, steps in with 2 outs. Pitch. Popped up. Catcher takes it to foul ground. That ends the inning. And the score remains tied at 5 going into the bottom of the 10th. Chico Salmon is going to pinch hit for Frank Robinson, which I don't understand. Salmon, only 2 at-bats in the regular season, batted .229. I guess they're going for a righty-lefty situation here. No, he's right-handed. I don't know. I don't get this one at all. Let's see. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 out. Boot Powell, 2 for 4 with a home run. Steps in against Jose Mesa. And that's going to be a base hit for Powell. So Powell's on. The winning run is on. Merv Retman steps in. He had a triple on his third at bat, his second at bat. Here he is against Mesa. Winning run is at first. 1 out. Pitch. Base hit for Merv Retman. And Powell stays at second. He doesn't have any speed, Powell. Now they're going to bring up another pinch hitter, Dave May. No, wait. Dave May was put in. I don't know why he was put in. Dave May batted 146 in the regular season. Anyway, here we go. Winning run at second base. But Dave May facing Jose Mesa. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that's the second out. Brooks Robinson can end it here with a base hit. He's 0 for 3 in the game. Here we go. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and that is it. So the game goes into the 11th inning now, tied at 5. Kenny Lofton stepping in against Eddie Watt. Pitch. Ground ball, base hit for Lofton. So Lofton is on. Brian Giles steps in. Another base hit. Lofton will stay at second. That'll bring up Albert Bell. Albert Bell, 3 for 4 with 2 home runs in this game. Nobody out, 2 men on. Top of the 11th. Fly ball, center field, Buford. Blair, is there. For the first out. Jim Thome steps in. They walked him last time up. And there's a base hit for Thome. And here comes Kenny Lofton. And the throw is not in time. And the Indians take the lead 6-5 here in the top of the 11th. Now bring up Manny Ramirez. 1 out and 2 men on. Pitch. Fly ball, left field. Taken by Retman. Runners stay where they are. 2 outs. Here's Eddie Murray. Popped up. Brooks Robinson is there, puts it away. And that is it. But the Indians go out in front now, 6-5. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. And the Orioles actually have their backs up against the wall for the whole ball of wax here in the bottom of the 11th. Let's go. Jose Mesa still in there. He's starting to tire. You got Andy Etchebarren up. Here is the pitch. And he walks him. And that's it for Jose Mesa. Indians are going to bring in Paul Shuey. Shuey made 34 appearances, won 1 game in the regular season with a 4.02 ERA. In the playoffs, he's pitched 4 innings, and he's only given up 1 run. So, Mark Belanger. Nobody out. Andy Etchebarren off first. Here we go. And there's a walk. So the tying run is at second for Don Buford, the second baseman. Here's the pitch from Huey. That's a base hit. And here comes Etchebarren scores, and the Orioles tie it up. Again, 6-6, and the winning run is 90 feet away with nobody out for Paul Blair. A base hit or a fly ball will win the game. Swing and a miss, strike 3 for the first out. Chico Salmon steps in. Pitch, and it's a fly ball, and here comes the runner. No, it does not come. It was not deep enough. So now, 2 outs, and has to be a base hit. Here is Boot Powell. Tie score, bottom of the 11th, 2 outs, runners at second and third. The winning run's on third. The pitch, fly ball, and that is it. But the Orioles tie it up, and we go to the top of the 12th. I'm going to take a short break here because this game is getting out of hand. I'll be right back. Okay, let me put my hat back on. Let's see if we can get this game in the books here. Top of the 12th. Pitching change for the Orioles. Marcelino Lopez is pitching. Marcelino Lopez in the regular season, 34 appearances, 2-2 record, and 2 saves, 3.52 ERA. In the playoffs, he's given up 3 runs in 3 innings, ERA of 8.10. Tony Pena Sr. stepping in. He batted 200 in the regular season. He's took over for Sandy Alomar Jr. He's up. Here we go, top of the 12th. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 out. Let's see if they actually get somebody on base here. Okay, we got 2 outs. Go ahead run at second base for Kenny Lofton. Pitch, and he walks him. So first and second, Billy Ripken is going to take over and pinch hit for the designated hitter. Ripken was batted .321 with 10 home runs in the regular season. He has yet to appear. This is his first appearance in the playoffs. Here we go. And that's going to be a base hit. And that could be the go-ahead run. Here it comes, and he's in there. So an RBI single for Billy Ripken puts the Indians ahead here, 7-6 in the top of the 12th. 2 outs, Albert Bell is up with 2 men on. Here's Bell. Fly ball right field. Caught. And that is it. But the Indians, again, take the lead, 7-6. Can they hold them? They put in John Farrell. Farrell 32 games, won 5, lost 2. ERA of 4.78. Only pitched 1.1 innings in the playoffs and did not give up any runs. Here's Merv Rettenberg. He's 2 for 5 in the game. Here we go. The pitch. And that's a base hit to right field. These Orioles just not giving up. Dave May's going to step in against Farrell. The pitch. Ground ball. This should be 2. And it is. Don't play. Excuse me. Sorry. Okay. So, the Orioles are down to their last out. Brooks Robinson steps in. If Farrell gets this out, it'll be over, and Indians will go to the championship. 22 home runs on the season for Brooks Robinson. So he can tie it. He can tie it. Here is the pitch. Fly ball. This should be it. Albert Bell is there. Puts it away. And the 1995 Cleveland Indians have come from behind in this game to defeat the Orioles 7-6 and go to the Conference Championship Series. Amazing. The number 7 seed survives, and the Indians of 1995 are obviously the Cinderella team of this season. That was a great game. Wow. So we finished today, and there's only one game, and we are now to the Conference Championship Series. And the 4 teams we have are the Brooklyn Dodgers of 1955 are going to be playing the Indians, who just won this game tonight. And in the National Conference, it's the San Francisco Giants of 1962 against the Chicago Cubs of 2016. I believe this is a rematch from Season 1 Championship Series. I believe so. Anyway, that is going to be it for tonight for me. I'm going to have to say adios, and we will bring you the next one. We'll have the Conference Championship Series leading up to the World Series in Season 3 here of the GLB. Hope you're enjoying it. I love this type of stuff. It's baseball simulation, no managing involved. Some of the decisions that the AI does come up with, I kind of question, but it's AI. It's as accurate as it can be. It's all playing percentages and what ifs. So, anyway, have a good rest of your day or night, and I will see you on the next one.